Okay. So thank you, Carlina, for joining us or joining me live today, which is Tuesday, October 10th. And let's see. And thank you to everybody who's listening to the recording, hopefully later on. Excuse the messy office in the background here and all my vendor event stuff that's packed up that you guys can see, but it is what it is. So Carlina, now I forget who you said your upline is. Carlina is in Jacqueline's downline, but under Laura and then Brittany Bressler?
Yes.
Okay. Yay. Hi, Danae. I have another face to look at. And then Carlina lives outside of Sacramento in Rockland, just north of Sacramento. And Danae joined from Ellensburg. Do you want to introduce yourself real fast, Danae?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm Danae Skistad, and I'm from Ellensburg. Yoda is my upline. And I'm currently a team leader and super excited.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, and my name's Yota, and just to give a little bit of background, because our teams are growing quite a bit, and Carlina had mentioned that she thought I was part of her upline too, so I thought I should maybe clarify for those of you who are new to mine and Jacqueline's little combo group here. So my name's Yota. I am a senior team leader in Washington. My upline is Mandy O'Halloran. And Jacqueline and I are not in the same genealogy at all. We're just really good friends, Wild Tree besties, and met at Leadership Conference a couple of years ago and hit it off and work really well together. So we decided to team up and group our teams together to just kind of, I don't know, just bring a little bit more excitement and fun. And I feel like we work well together, and our schedules are kind of totally opposite. So when she's crazy busy, I'm usually not, and vice versa. So it works so well. I'm going to mute your line, Karina, just for a second here. Okay, I think there's a little bit of background noise. So I can unmute you if you need me to, just type on the chat thing. So anyways, we are going to talk today about host coaching. And really, that's such a super important component of having a successful business, because really it's all about getting in front of the most amount of people as possible. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And we want you guys to know, as leaders, we are wanting to help you create starting points, like where you're at right now and where you want to go, and help you with protecting your progress as far as guiding you with the steps that you need to be taking for the goals that you're trying to be reaching, and then inspiring you towards self-learning and self-growth. So really, again, just pointing you in the direction towards the things that you guys need for support in your business. And Wild Tree has a lot of amazing tools, along with Sonara's training website. And I don't know if any of you guys have had a chance to listen to Kayla's Business Builder call from this past Sunday, but she was talking about partially referring people to Sonara's training website for getting started, but also really digging into that Roots to Success training manual that comes in the new startup kit. So I just want to encourage everybody to look at that on the MRC. And next time you place a business supply order one. If you're an existing rep and don't have a brand new kit to pull that out of. I actually had ordered one, and I actually met with a gal that I think is going to be joining my team this morning, and I just gave her mine, or else I would have shown you guys what it looks like here. But it's just a really great new tool, and it's really user friendly. Walks you through step by step what you need to do to get started. So I feel like people who maybe like that kind of paper in a book, they can sit down and look through it, take notes on it. That's going to be a great resource for your new reps, or if you are a new rep. And then also Sonara's training website. But everybody kind of has their own learning style and what they like. So there are the videos on Sonara's website, plus a lot of downloadable, forms and different things. And then you've got that Roots to Success, I think is what it's called, that new training manual. So, but anyways, okay. So just keep that in mind as another great tool that just came out. I will, whoopsie, well, there went my creed down the back of my desk. Okay. I'm just going to read the creed really quick, because our topic today isn't super lengthy. So I'll just go through this. So those of you who are brand new to this, it's kind of really awesome that this is what our company stands for. At Wild Tree, our vision is to become the best and most trusted meal solutions company worldwide. by embodying the principles set forth by our 160-year-old family of companies. Our mission is to help deliver simple, nutritious meal choices that enable our customers and business builders to live the life they desire. Our purpose is to provide a vehicle for busy individuals and families to prioritize what they value most. As part of that pursuit, we believe in promoting the Wild Tree story and its company's philosophies to the world, putting other people first because we know that we rise by lifting others, looking to find the silver lining in every situation so we can keep our can-do attitude, sharing love for our product, our team members, and our customers, providing great opportunities for our farmers, manufacturing team, and home office by being consistent producers, knowing change is good and that change means we are staying progressive and innovative, recognizing when our team members do something right in public and private, doing our best and always trying our best every day, providing information that is of real value, honest, and with people's best interest in mind, seeing people not for who they are, but for who they can become, providing viable business opportunity with unlimited potential for our team members, meeting people where they are so we can bring out the best in them and ourselves, having integrity and doing what we preach even when no one is watching, leading by example because you can't teach what you don't know and you can't lead where you won't go, setting goals, using positive self-talk and never limiting ourselves in what we can accomplish, being for what is right and not who is right, using principles to guide our decision-making. When problems arise, we assume the best in people and work with focus on the solution. Most of all, we believe in being examples of health, growth, hard work, and positivity in every area of our lives and business. We are committed to building a company that creates a lasting legacy by building people to build our company. We are proud to represent Wild Tree as part of the Southwestern family of companies, and we will work continually towards helping people achieve their goals in life. So I love that. I feel like I need to just read that every morning. I don't know if you guys read that very often, but every time I read it, I just feel so positive. Okay, so I am going to talk about a couple reminders. I thought yesterday was the 10th, which was very comical. So I already did the reminder for the 350 Club, but today is actually the 10th. So today is the real deadline. So what the 350 Club means is that if you place an order for $350 by the 10th of the month, you can earn $15 in business bucks that you can use to buy business supplies. And then if you do another $350 by the 25th of the month, you can earn another $10 in business bucks. You can do one or the other or both of them. And so you can earn up to $25 in business bucks per month. You can also be kind of part of the consistency club by doing $350 every month and getting those business bucks consistently. And you, with the $350, you just want to keep in mind when you're getting started, you really want to shoot towards a minimum of $350 in your first 45 days, just so you're getting your feet wet and you're getting the ball rolling with your business right away. So another thing is that you have in your first 45 days, you have a free shipping voucher, and you can use the Supplement Your Starter Kit form that we can get for you if you don't know what that is, to be able to take advantage of free shipping and just get some things to supplement what came with your starter kit. And you have free shipping on up to $400 in products. And then what I always tell people is if you're not necessarily going to use that whole free shipping voucher yourself and you're just getting started, then go ahead and share that with your friends and family. Just offer them free shipping on their first order or whatever, first come, first serve up to the $400 limit, and just ask them for some feedback. If they would want to try some Wild Tree products, and just let you know what their thoughts are on that. And you'll give them free shipping for kind of being a little guinea pig for you when you're getting started with your business. Something else to keep in mind is your fast start in your first 45 days, and how you can earn that is two different ways. There's two different fast starts. One is $1,000 in personal sales. That will give you $100 in free Wild Tree product. The other is if you have if you sign up one representative in your first 45 days and they sell $350 in their first 35 or 45 days. I'm not sure what that timeline is, but if they bonus qualify, then you will get another $100 in free Wild Tree. And then just to a couple reminders, we have business builder calls on Sunday evenings at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. So I know that's not very good for all of us on a Sunday evening. It's usually kind of family dinner time. So I like to listen to those like the next day or a couple days later. You can, listen to those while you're driving, cleaning, working out, whatever. But just keep those in mind because there's always great topics to learn from other representatives and leaders in the company. And so now what we're going to talk about is host coaching. So host coaching you can find in Module 5 on Sonara's training website. So that is going to be kind of your little action step or homework from this call is if you haven't watched Module 5, then go ahead and do that. There's a video there. And there's also a couple of different forms that you can download. So one of them is a tracker, which oops, I have one here somewhere. Looks something like this. So this tracker, you can list all of your hostesses and their phone number to keep in touch, their workshop date and time, the RSVP deadline, and then we're going to go into what you're going to want to be doing after that. So this form is great for just kind of keeping track if you like to have everything on one piece of paper. And something that's really important with host coaching is, like I said, you want to have the biggest turnout possible at your parties because it's really going to take you almost the same amount of time to do a party for 4 people as it would for 12 people. So why not be in front of 12 people when you're, taking those few hours to be away from your family? So the way to do this is to really have a good conversation with your hostesses. If they just don't, I feel like they just kind of don't know what to do on their own. So they sort of need a plan from you. And so basically you're going to want to call them and say, my goal is for you to have so what Sonara's been saying really is my goal is for you to have, 12 or more guests at your workshop. And if you have 12 guests who buy workshop kits, that actually gets you 2 workshop kits for free. You can use them both, or maybe you have a friend in need or somebody, that's going to be having a baby pretty soon, or someone who maybe couldn't afford to buy a workshop kit that you could give the second kit to as a gift. And she said that's really been working well because people really like helping other people, so if they're thinking, gosh, by getting lots of people to my party, I not only can get my kit for free, but I can help one of my friends. That might help, give them more incentive to get more people there and work a little bit harder on that. And then I also put, if you have at least 7 people, then that should get you your workshop kit for free. And just kind of talk to them about that, get them excited about it, and let them know that you're really there to help their party be a success and you want to help them with that. Another thing is to, honestly, the Facebook events and Facebook invitations should be like a secondary form of inviting. They are not, Sonara's theory is you probably get about 2 people confirmed from a Facebook event. The rest of them are going to come from more of a personal invitation. So I always recommend, texting out the invitation or emailing if you work with, sometimes a group of teachers or something. Email might be the best way for them all to communicate with each other. But it seems like these days people kind of respond to the text a little bit quicker and see that on their phone. So however you communicate with that individual person is how your hostess, tell her that's how she should be communicating with the people she's inviting. So if she normally would email them to give them information, then email the invitation. If she normally would text them, then text them. And then certain people, you just need to make a phone call and invite them by voice. But what's going to be the most effective is your hostess really being excited about why she booked the party, what she loves about Wild Tree, and sharing that with other people. And I've kind of been thinking about this in my invitation process lately because I've made some changes to the way I'm doing my inviting. And I started doing more and more with Facebook events just because that's what people were kind of wanting. And I was noticing that my attendance wasn't quite as good as it used to be. And then it was kind of funny because the party I had this past Sunday, she actually didn't even have an invitation. Like I never even made her an invitation. And how it went was she actually contacted me. She was somebody who I'd contacted in the past. And then she recently contacted me and said, I think I want to go ahead with a workshop. What dates do you have available? So we kind of picked a date. And then she said, okay, let me check with my friends and see if that date will work for them, and then I'll get back to you to confirm that. So she was almost like doing the invitation on her own, like before we even had fully confirmed anything. And then she's like, yeah, I have like 6 friends that can come for sure on that date, so let's move forward with it. Is there a link I need to give them that they can order through? So I gave her the link, they ordered, and I never even made an invitation for that party. And it was a really successful, I mean, it was an $860 party when it was all said and done. And actually the gal I met with this morning, who's most likely going to be joining my team today, came from that party too. But what's interesting is she didn't even have an invitation. And so she was really reaching out to her friends by text or voice and just saying, hey, you know, do you want to come to my meal making party? Some of them had been before, some of them were new. But I just feel like there's nothing that can replace just that personal reach out. And when I had my first party before I became a rep, that's how the gal my upline didn't even give me an invitation. I literally just texted people and said, I'm doing this meal, this freezer meal workshop thing. It sounds really awesome. Do you want to come? It costs this much money, you know, and then I had 9 people or whatever that came to my workshop. So make sure that if you're using Facebook events that you just remind your hostesses that that's just like another avenue, and don't depend on Facebook to get their attendance up to where you want it. The other thing with setting the stage for having, you know, like 12 people at the workshop, sometimes people, they're thinking like, oh, I probably should only have like 4 or 5 because, you know, we probably need a lot of room in our kitchen or this or that, or my house is small. And they're not thinking outside the box. Like, we could set up a card table or a Costco table, or use your kitchen table and put the snacks somewhere else. You know, they're kind of envisioning maybe the place that they went for the party. So I think really setting that stage and talking to them about that, they're gonna be able to indicate to you any apprehensions they have, and you'll be able to address that right out of the gates, instead of you thinking that they understand the process and they're, you know, having a whole different idea in their mind and you have no idea. So I think just having that open communication up front and having that conversation is really important. Hi, Katie. So, okay. And then here's another, this is a biggie. So there's Katie from Kettle Falls. Hi. So this is something that I think is really important too, is to let them know that your no's come first. People know right out of the gates that if they have something planned that day, they're going to tell you, no, I can't come. My son has a band or you know, concert or whatever. That's just already on their calendar. So you're going to hear, I always tell the hostess, you're going to hear your no's right away. So don't panic. That's totally normal. And then I also tell them, you're probably not going to get most of your confirmed yeses until like the very end, until like the last 48 hours. You're going to get a couple of yeses and you'll get some maybes, but the majority of the people are literally going to sign up for your workshop in the last 48 hours. I've been doing this 3.5 years. That's what happens at almost every party. So at first I was kind of freaking out myself as a rep, you know, thinking, what the heck is happening? These parties aren't going to be successful. And then now I'm like, I'm used to it. You know, that's just the way people roll. So that's how it is. But I think it's really important to let your hostess know that, so she doesn't feel like a failure and, you know, maybe even wanting to like cancel her party because she's just not hearing back from people and she's getting discouraged. So I have a cover letter. I posted it. Do you guys remember, did I post that on our team page or did I post that on the rookie page? My Mad Mimi. I don't know. I'll post it on here though, so that you guys can see what I'm sending out to my hostesses. And then I have in there the Mad Mimi link. So they can just copy and paste that link to text it out. They can put that on their Facebook event. They can email it, whatever they want to do. If you're not familiar with Mad Mimi, that was, I think we talked about that last week, maybe on the call. But you guys can find all the instructional video. Everybody who knows me knows how not techie I am. And so I just literally sat down for like 20 minutes, watched the training video on Sonara's training website on how to do a Mad Mimi invitation, and did it. And here Danae's been doing it forever. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is so pretty and professional looking and super easy once you spend the time to make one. Then all you have to do is just clone it and keep, you know, just change the dates. Like, it's so much more efficient than what I was doing. So it's just, you know, teaching an old dog new tricks. You got to take a couple minutes to learn it. and then going forward, it's awesome. But the step-by-step video tutorial is like really great. It's super thorough. I think Jen Klein put that together, and that's awesome. So you can find the instructional video on creating your Mad Mimi invitation on the Training with Sonara website, password, success, all lowercase letters. And that's also posted at the top of our rookie page in case you forget. Okay, and then so basically you're gonna have that intro phone call, and then you're gonna want to be checking in with them like a week before the workshop, have them remind their guests, and check in to see how many, like I always text them like just checking in to see how many yeses you have so far. And then that way, at least you can help them if they're like, oh my gosh, I'm only getting no's, or everybody thinks it's too expensive, or whatever kind of, if you could run into some like, obstacles, that you need to overcome with them. It's really great to have that conversation a week before the party, not a day before the deadline. I mean, a week before the deadline versus a day before the deadline. So keeping in touch with your hostess is really important. I just kind of like every few days, if I think about it, I'll just kind of check in, just, hey, see how it's going. I don't follow the checklist to a T. I just kind of do my own thing, which I would probably be better off following the checklist, but I make sure that I am checking in with my hostesses. At least I have 3 points of contact between the time we book the party. So then I have the first initial phone call where she's sending the invitations out, then a second, like kind of middle of the row contact as a reminder, and then a couple days before the party. And then obviously that last day when you're scrambling to get those last registrations because they have like 10 people who want to sign up and nobody's actually done it. So that's just kind of the way it goes. But reminding them is really important because they have good intentions, but they get busy with life, and Wild Tree isn't the first thing on their mind every day when they wake up in the morning. So I feel like our job has become so easy as far as the workshop kits. We don't have to buy the extra ingredients or print documents anymore like we used to. They're being shipped straight to the hostess's house. Like we've saved so much time on some of those things we used to have to do that I feel like that extra time is best spent on coaching your hostesses to try to get a really good attendance. So the other thing that I send them with their invitation and their little cover letter explaining, kind of explaining what I just said, just like, over invite, blah, 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 shoot for having 12 people, this and that. I attach the 40 friends in 4 minutes sheet to that letter that I send them. So I send them the email with their invitation link, kind of their instructions, their invitation link, and then attached to that is the 40 friends in 4 minutes. And why that's important is because you want them to have people from as many different circles as possible. Number one, they'll get more bookings so they can get, earn more half price items for that. But number two, that's how you're going to get a lot of bookings in future business. So it's the same thing when we're doing our launch party. We always talk about make sure you're inviting from different circles. Same thing for each party that you facilitate. You want the hostess to have people from different circles so that you can maybe get a booking from somebody who's a soccer mom with her, and someone from her office where she works, and then maybe a church friend, and then maybe a family member. And then all of a sudden you're able to book all these different workshops rather than having everybody from just family, just certain little groups that they're a part of. I've seen that totally make a big difference. One of my parties last week, there were 8 ladies and I booked 4 workshops. Well, those ladies were all from different sort of circles or buckets of people. So I thought that was great, to have 50% bookings from one party, but it totally made sense because of people coming from different areas. So the action steps really are just going to be to watch the video in Module 5. Sonara is going to do a way better job of explaining what I just said, so you guys can listen to her if you want to hear. Some of it will be a little bit of a repeat, but you'll be able to hear her words and things that she says to her hostesses. Also, she has a host coaching guideline that looks like this that you can download, and that's in the Module 5. And also the host coaching tracker is in there, so you guys can download that. So this is just a little bit of a shorter topic, which is kind of fun. Do you guys want to unmute and let me know if you have any questions, but also like if you guys have anything to add that's working for you, maybe for host coaching or, anything that's going on. I'm unmuting all of you. Don't be shy. Let's see here. Okay. So do you guys have any questions or tips about host coaching?
Well, while you were talking, it reminded me to send a link to my upcoming, a host, and for a second way for her to reach out to people, because she's doing Facebook. But I was like, oh yeah, add Mimi link so she can do that. Give them a couple different options.
Yeah, and something else that I did recently, because I booked 16 workshops at once, when I was at that Lewiston fair, and I came home, I was like, this is a good problem to have, but I'm freaking out. Like right now I have 22 workshops booked. I've never had that in 3.5 years at one time, like actually dated to host, coach, and deal with. And I'm like, I could really drop the ball and like miss out on a lot of business if I don't figure this out. So right. I knew that I just literally didn't have the time to sit down and do all their Mad Mimi invitations like immediately. So what I did is I went into RedStamp and I created a save the date using that little, it's the thing I used to use as an invitation, but the one that shows you order your workshop kit, right. You shop for your groceries, blah, 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 the little wine glasses and stuff. And then I just put at the bottom, save the date, blah, blah, blah. Well, whatever I put, I can tell you guys, it's just in here, but more information coming soon, that type of thing. I could also post this in case anybody finds it useful, but I found that was a really good use of RedStamp. You know what I mean? Because
yes,
RedStamp it's awesome. I wish you could have a little bit more editability in RedStamp and have more room for text and that type of stuff. Because I do love being able to just text a nice image that's branded and everything like that. But so I put save the date in capitals, Thursday, November 16th, 6 p.m. I'm hosting a Wild Tree freezer meal workshop. More info coming soon. Let me know if you're interested. And then the hostess's name and phone number. So I felt like that's already going to generate some RSVPs, hopefully for her, and at least some interest. And I saw, I had people that were posting that already in like a Facebook event they were creating, and they were already getting feedback from their friends. Like, I'm totally interested. Like, I can't wait to hear more about it, that type of stuff. And people are already asking questions. So I feel like that's something that is really easy to do. Like even if you get home from your workshop and you have a couple of bookings and you're just like going to chill out for a few minutes before you go to bed, maybe just whip out those RedStamps really quick or first thing in the morning. And that way they're still excited and they're getting that word out to their people right away. So I don't know. That's just something new that I tried, and I feel like it's effective and good.
Also, Mandy was saying that one of her new, I think, techniques, tips, the approaches that she's doing for host coaching is, if it happens to be somebody that is at a workshop and they're all excited and they've got their cooler full of, their workshop meals in their cooler, and they're saying, yes, I've got one booked, blah, blah, blah. So she has a little, a little sign. This is a scratch piece of paper, but she has a little sign and it says, come workshop with me or something. I don't know. You can find out exactly, but you could make any sign that says, I'm super excited to, come join me at my workshop hosting on whatever date, And so it has a picture of that person at the workshop and their cooler. So that's the very first thing that she gets to have to send out from that night. So they get to see that process. And
yeah,
I think that's a good way to just do that right then and there. And that's your first step to your host coaching. And then the save the date to go along with it.
Yeah, because then when they get the actual, like they're like anxiously awaiting the Mad Mimi, you know what I mean? Because they've already gotten the save the date there. And so something I've been doing with the girls that book from me is I say, it's kind of like Mandy's, but I like this idea a little bit better, what Mandy's doing. But I tell them, when you get home, before you put all your meals in your freezer, put them on your counter, which I do it every time when I make my meals because it's so gratifying. Like after all that work, and it's so beautiful, I have to have a picture of my masterpiece of food here. So, but I just tell them, lay out all your meals on the countertop and take a picture, and then post it on your Facebook and be like, I'm so excited that my freezer is full of healthy meals. And right there, you don't even have to tell them you're hosting, and they're already like, what's this thing? Like, next time you go to one of those, I want to go. But to take it one step further and just use that as like your first, almost like your intro save the date thing.
Right. So that's what she does. She'll take the picture. She sends it to them right then. And then they have that to put out there, send to their friends, put it on Facebook. That's immediate.
You could almost even do it for them. Like you could make friends with them at the party. Excuse me.
But then that's one more step you're doing. If they could do it themselves.
Well, I'm just saying if you're sending it anyways, it's almost like takes the same amount of time to be like, can't wait to see you on such and such and post on their page. Like I was just thinking it might not be any more time than just sending it to them. But yeah, whatever the case is, it's just all of that to generate excitement and just get the ball rolling so that people, because I think sometimes what happens is people start inviting to their parties and they're like, okay, they forgot to send the invitation out when you sent it to them the first time. Let's get real. Like that happens all the time, right? Some hostesses are honest and some aren't, but this is true. Like they'll be like, I've had them go, oh my gosh, I had one yesterday say, I have been so busy, literally, I promise I will get on this tonight. It's like, oh my gosh, your deadline's like in 2 days. So hopefully you really get on it. But I always give a deadline that actually gives some cushion too. That's my own personal preference because I know people are waiting till the last minute. So I don't want it to actually officially truly be the last minute, you know, for doing that. But let's see, this thing is, I don't know if it tells me, it's gonna cut me off. But anyways, yeah, just if they're doing all those little steps, then it's not the very first time that somebody's hearing about it when they're getting all those details. And maybe the hostess didn't send that out right away. So it's like, I need to pay $85.80 in 2 days. What? Like, I haven't even had a chance to process this, you know? So I think it's important that people are getting a little bit of advance notice as possible. Well, does anybody have anything to add about host coaching or inviting or anything that's been working? Otherwise, I want to hear how you guys are doing with your calls or like what's happening.
Mine did not go well.
Okay, so let's talk about
it. Basically, like nobody's gotten back to me, and the one person that did, Miranda, who I needed that 350 from, she just has a lot going on. She said it doesn't sound very good. Like she's just really overwhelmed and a lot of personal stuff going on. So she, like just right now is not a good time.
Okay.
And
is she a rep or a host?
Rep. And I'd worked really hard with her to try to, like, I was doing like her whole Facebook event saying like, hey, you know, Miranda's doing this new business because I know that she's really, really busy. And so I was trying to just see how her people would kind of respond. And the Facebook workshop wasn't working. So Yota and I talked about doing like tasting parties. And I know they just moved into a house. She's just started a new job at the school. I think it would really help her. And that's what I told her, that like doing this would help you because then you get the meals done too, which obviously with her schedule, she needs it. So I don't know. And then, yeah, I haven't heard back from anybody else.
So that's kind of typical too, that a lot of times you have to reach out, you know, several times to hear back from someone. When I did that,
5.
Yeah.
That Sonara 5 times.
Oh, well, yes, that, and I think that was like actually being personally asked, you know, to join the business. But even like to hear back from people, when I did that big chunk, I don't know, a few weeks ago when we were doing kind of whatever we were doing, trying to get going on maybe the gold card and stuff when we were starting with that. I did like 40 contacts, I think the first day. Barely heard back from anybody, but what was crazy is that by the weekend I was hearing back from tons of people. So it's almost like they were just busy in the week with work and life and kids and schedules. And then once the weekend came, they could like finally think for a minute, look at their calendar. And I was booking stuff like mad on like Sunday evening. Normally I wouldn't be that pumped up about sitting on my phone on Sunday evening, but it was like, oh, my husband's just like looking on his phone at whatever. We're just kind of hanging around, like nothing major was going on. So I was just like sitting there and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm booking stuff left and right. So just keep in mind that it's super normal to not hear back right away. So that's something that I'm glad you mentioned that, because maybe I'll post that too on our challenge group, just to keep in mind that when you're starting, you're just starting that momentum. And then as you keep going and you keep making those contacts, you're going to eventually be consistently hearing back from people because you've been consistently contacting people for long enough. But in the beginning, it's just, you're almost like at that initial reach out point. And it's always like the most like sales are made, or however you want to word it, between the 5th and 12th contact, maybe even the 4th and 12th contact. But most people give up by the 2nd or 3rd. So there is so much business that doesn't happen because people just give up. And I think a lot of it is just, we get like, oh, they don't want to talk to me, or, you know what I mean? We take it personally, and it's not, it really isn't. And I've had so many people.
I have a hard time with it because like, I've had, you know, consultants from other companies like Thrive, or, you know, like as soon as you like status, like somebody's status or something, they contact you and just start like hounding you and hounding you and hounding you. And like Thrive is definitely the worst because I constantly have people, you know, I'm just trying to support their business and show interest. And so I hate it because they'll just send me message after message. And even though I've told them over and over, like, it's just not a good time for me, I'm not interested, you know, I want to work on my wild tree. I'd rather eat my healthy meals, which I'm still going to have to eat on Thrive instead of spending hundreds of dollars, you know, on a supplement. Why not just work my business and eat healthy?
Right.
So I hate having to do that to people because I know how it feels to like constantly be bugged.
Well, but keep in mind that you responded to those people like, no, thank you, or I'm not interested. When you're not hearing back from somebody, they haven't actually said that to you yet. So once they say that, once they say like, no thanks, or I'm not interested, or right now is not a good time, like you have the one person that said, you know, I think I have to wait till after the first of the year. So you're going to wait till after the first of the year. You're just going to mark her down to contact her, you know, maybe contact her mid-December to talk about a January party or something, but you just mark that on your calendar that you're respecting what her wish is. But in the meantime, when you haven't heard back from people, then they're, I mean, fair game, like for lack of better words, because they haven't, you're not being rude by contacting them again if they haven't responded. You know what I mean? And once they don't want to be approached anymore, they're going to tell you, you know,
right,
I'm not interested, or now isn't a good time, or something like that. But it is, I mean, it's a little uncomfortable at first, but once you start doing it, and then once you start getting the feedback, and that's where the consistency comes into play, is like if you're doing your 10 calls a day or 10 connections a day, every day, you know, 4 days a week or 5 days a week on a regular basis, it's just like second nature. You know, you reach out to that person on Monday, so maybe you're going to reach out to them again on like Wednesday or Thursday if you haven't heard from them. And actually maybe doing like a Monday and a Thursday for the same person is good, because same reason we talk about your launch parties being on different schedules kind of for people. If someone's busy on a Monday night, they might also be busy on a Wednesday night because maybe their kids have like dance lessons on Mondays and Wednesdays, you know, and so maybe if you did like reach out to the people from Monday on Thursday, then maybe you're going to hit them on a day that's not quite as crazy for them if they didn't get back to you on Monday, just for an example. But you want to kind of schedule it out, and that's where that binder that Danae maybe should show us. Do you have your binder, Hen?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that can come, I mean, that's where that can come into play. And next week's call is about follow-up, which I'm super excited about because I did put my stuff in the binder last night.
Well, I've got my binder.
Oh yeah, you have it too.
Oops, that's not it.
So do you have anything in it besides the dividers?
Well, the last party, I've got like the order forms in there right now so that I can like follow up with them to make sure that they got everything fine and how they're liking it. And like, I've got all these in there.
Okay.
Kind of I mean, it's not, I don't know if there's any training there or if it's been done and maybe I missed it to see exactly how to, I mean, I kind of got an idea of how to use it.
But Danae's been doing it and having good success. We're going to be cut off because we have less than a minute, but you go as fast.
Do you want me to try?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here's my binder. I got a smaller one, not the regular standard size. So this fits.
Oh.
Yeah. So it just seemed a little easier, like not. So that's the way I did that. And then I have just some little tabs in the front. There's, I think, 6 of them in the front. And they don't have anything on them. They're just kind of like what I'm doing right now. If I just did a party last night, I'm going to reach out to them in a couple of days. So I just have them in the front. Or sometimes I might pull them, and on one of them, I'm still trying to figure out how I'm doing this. But like I'm thinking that one of these is going to be like my go-to for recruiting. So if I have a couple names on here, like I want to pull them out, there's somebody I have in mind for recruiting. But other than that, what I've done is the alphabet and the front. So, or not the alphabet, but the months in the front. So I have dividers. They're monthly dividers. So those, once I do my 2-week check-in after my party with the individual check-ins, then they go into 2 months down the road, wherever that is, and goes in. I get filed into the monthly, and they just stay in that monthly rotation continually until they say, you know what, I think I'm good, but if I need anything, I'm going to reach out to you. Kind of like thanks, but no thanks.
Right.
So that's when, just like what we were saying, you're going to reach out to them until they tell you that, you know, and at that point, then you don't want to keep bothering them. So when you is
Hello.
You're breaking up.
I just